Here we go. Here we go, my family. Welcome. Let's gather on in. Let's gather on in. Okay. Lot to talk about today. Started a little early. It's about 1:07 right now. 1:08 on the computer time. 1:08, the number of the moon. How synchronistic. So let's get on into it. Let's just jump right on into the Galactic update. So let me move these cards out of the way. Let me lower that music a tad. Gotta focus for this one. All right. So welcome, Corey. Welcome, Catherine. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for being here. With bells on. A lot of you were already here ahead of time commenting. I loved that today. Yeah, maybe that can be a thing when I on the days I have more time, show up and maybe answer some questions and just talk to you guys here in the comment thread. That was fun. So anyways, yeah, I love doing this. I love you guys. Seriously, having everybody at home, it's sometimes I tune in at certain points. It's not everybody, but there's certain people that are like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Y'all don't realize how much you do. And this is the explanation of that story. So if you didn't catch the 15th, the Love and Romance, I was talking about this whole placenta umbilical cord thing. And, just talking about this missing organ that is ours, and, just kind of like touching base on what spirit was communicating with me when that came up, when that information came up. And then I finished the broadcast, and this is where I'm getting to you guys and how much is really going on when we have these conversations, this vlog, if you will. It was just like shortly after, and I'm sitting there, and it was like I could feel everybody's thought process that was like saying like, well, what about so-and-so who lost her breast? What about my appendix? What about this plastic surgery? What about this thing? What about that? Like, and yes. All the missing pieces should definitely be reclaimed throughout time and space. All the bodies, the astral, the etheric, the causal, all the bodies. All the bodies, the energy bodies, the physical, the mental, all of them. Especially if there was something where, there's some sort of meridian or, there's some sort of energy circuit there. And it's like, it's not the most fun thing to talk about, because even if it was a limb or whatever it is, and it's like, just whatever it is needs to be reclaimed. Like if you're hearing this message and you're, if you're one of those people asking that question, Alexander heard you loud and clear. And yeah, this keeps going from here. It went from these missing pieces to bouncing, some conversations I was having with Angela in the patron group, and. And I've been talking about it a lot, this whole thing with Perseus, and this ability to have invisibility. And I was talking about this with you guys for like the past 3 or 4 broadcasts. And after the conversation, I was left sitting with like, wait a minute, I'm not Perseus. I know Perseus has certain archetypal functionalities and connection points to the god of war. So that's how I've been having access to him. But it's also just like, it's like the more pieces and the more information we reclaim about the self, the more like I'm finding like we're not even supposed to be using that. Like I shouldn't have even been using that. It's like, once I discovered that I had this connection, I had this ability set from this little G God, big G God, whatever it is, what happens to that archetype, or what happens to the people that have a stronger connection to that archetype when we kind of like tap in on their energy? So like this was like really gnarly to sit with. And I'm sitting with this whole like, wait a minute, I don't want to do that anymore. And just from sitting with that like led me to even more. I started to look at every single weapon, every single armor, every single skill set. And here's the thing, and hear me out on this. I mean, how many times have I said to you guys, sometimes we have to let physical people go, even if it's just temporarily, so our balloon can go a little higher. Like looking at people, places, and things as if they're weights on our balloon to ascension. And y'all know, or at least might know, what I've been talking about lately. And it was like this whole spirit telling me I was in ninth density and seeing this beautiful, beautiful reflection and seeing and finding places in Sedona that I always was manifesting they existed, and then finding them, and just all the miracles, one thing after another for the course of like months. This all came in, and some of you, especially the patrons, I don't know if I shared that on the regular feed, but it was about like 5 months ago or so. Like I remembered having a dream that I told everybody about, where I was in Flagstaff, and I looked at everything, and I was like, oh, this is 9D. Like it didn't look as nice as I would have expected 9D to look years ago, so seeing what I saw, and then getting these validations, and like seeing the big full pink moon rise on the mountainside, and just reliving our dream. Like when you relive your dream, that's a very iconic, if you will, or very pivotal moment in your ascension process, that if spirit was showing you this ahead of time, or if you were living something before it happened, and that's what was happening. And it was like one thing after another. And when I went to Flag, I was like, this is like a good exact reoccurrence of when I realized I was in 9D. And then like I was like, oh, this isn't that nice. And it's not as nice as I would have expected, though. But you know how expectations go, to those of you that have been doing the work. And then the next day, I was floored. Like I found this I was brought to this beautiful place, and it was just unarguable. The connections with the people, and just how beautiful it was. And to see that red rock sand, beach sand, going into the water, it just blew my mind, because it was something when I got here in 2015, I've said this conversation to numerous people. I've said, like, I know there's a spot where red rock sand goes into the water. I just need to find it. So finding it, 12 hours after, realizing, we had the opportunity to make this jump, and there's this place that we're in now. We're making these fluctuations. It's not, from what I'm seeing, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, if you will. From what I'm seeing myself and others make regular fluctuations on the fly. Whereas before, it was like we would be going down a road, and then there would be a fork in the road, and this is what we were calling timelines. Now it's literally like, if I'm allowing myself, I'm like dipping into 8D, holding 9, but like still working on what is holding me back from getting to 11, because I would love to jump right past 10, right past 11, right past 12, and at least go to 13. Oh, the queen number. So anyways, back to these weapons, skill sets, all this stuff, and what I was talking about with the people, with the hot air balloon. Just to use that analogy for a moment. Like I said, once I like rejoiced, and I said, like, oh my God, I did it. I made it to 9. Like I did the work. And then spirit comes in, is like, hey, take it down a notch. Like you're rejoicing something that it's like, you don't belong in 9. Like 9, the only reason you're in 9 is because you've been focused on war, is what they told me. And many of you have heard me say this before. And then that's why this was so validating for me. So if I have weapons, armor, skill sets that are connected to 8th or 9th density, how do I get to 11 or 13? How do we get to 11 or 13, or wherever you are, wherever you're perceiving you are? if we have things that are connected to these aspects and these realms and these dimensions and these realities that we're not ready to release, because at first it was like, oh God, I don't want to do that. Like it almost felt like I feel naked. I'm gonna be honest with you, not like physically naked. I like to release everything that I've released now, because what I'm getting at was, obviously there was that initial, I don't want to do this. But then after sitting with it, I was like, oh, well, I have to do this. Because obviously, like, we came here to push this envelope and push this envelope further than where anybody thought it was even possible. I still hear people talking about getting to 5. And I'm just like, God, I freaking love you guys. I'm just like, you're not in 5. You're at least in 7. I'm going to be honest with you. You're at least in 7. Like, 2020 was 60. Clearly, it was 60. So we'd already stepped out of 5 to just be dealing with what we dealt with during that year that I'm sure many want to white light. So yeah, to release these things and release these frequencies and release these energies, like once we realize we don't need them. So it's like, there's this whole like reclaiming process. It's almost like you need to find what you're missing to then release it, at lack of better words, because it's like, whatever the God is, whether it's Hanuman, Shiva, whoever, if there's a connection where this God is fractal between 8th density and 9th density, and whatever the weapon, the armor, the skill set, whatever it is connected to that deity. If we're not going to let it go, how can you bring this anchor with you where you're going, especially since knowing, like Spirit told me, the only reason you're in 9 is because you were focused on war. And it's like, I'll be honest with you, it's been not challenging, but also like not fun, because it's like you go look back even 4 months and it was like boom here and then here, and I go here and I'm there now. So it's like I slipped into a reality where I'm my own guardian angel. I slipped into a reality where I'm my own archangel. I'm my own paladin. I'm my own Amazon. I'm my own 9th dimensional frequency here in the physical, if not higher. Because, as we release these things, if you're willing to release these things, to me, that's the only way to move up. If I had to release physical people to move up to the energy place, then I'm gathering that I have to release energy people and energy frequencies to traverse through the energy fields. And this is what was coming to me and what I was processing. And it's like to share all this of what I'm processing. And I'm sure I haven't even looked at the comments because I have to stay focused right now. This is all basically due to the fact that I shared with the collective this whole umbilical cord placenta thing, where it was like, I mean, even the Patreons here in the chat will tell you, I said on Saturday, special announcement next Saturday, because I'd already been sitting with this and it was so gnarly. Like, it's like when I first get a download, I can't talk about it until I've sat with it long enough. I would just be staring off into space, kind of like I am today. I'm sure you're noticing this broadcast is slightly different because I'm still processing all this. I'm still sitting with all this. And I'm still like also letting you know, like some of these things, like, it's like the same way that I didn't want to release certain people, that Spirit was having me release certain people. It's the same thing with these skill sets, which they're gone. They're gone now. I've released anything that was in 8th or 9th density, and it's just like, bring it on. Like I'm not, we can't be in fear, and we especially can't be in fear when we're in such an awesome place. And when we continue to tell Spirit, you're doing a great job, I want this or better. And when we continue to know that as we traverse through these energy fields, we keep getting into a bigger body. And as we get into a bigger body, we attain a bigger wingspan. And as we attain a bigger wingspan, these other little things, which even would want to sit with feeding or weirdness. We exist so far above them, and they're not even on the food chain. Like they're not, you're like I was saying last week, you're not going to see a house finch mess with an eagle, and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's more to share. I'm going to get into the cards. I wanted to share this. I wanted to thank you guys. I wanted to also, yeah, just share this download, because I think a good percentage of you, after sitting with this, will be validated from this information, and we'll see this is the way to go. And you know what is the goal? It's like I look back at that video. There wasn't a thumbnail on it. There was like 2 weeks in a row. I was talking about the levels and the floors and the distortion fields, and how like pretty much all of this is a distortion field, and that's what I'm seeing. And I know like some of you are thriving just thinking you're in 5, and thriving to the point where you can thrive due to your willpower, and due to your, not willpower, worthiness. You know, sometimes we're feeling so good, there's like some voice in the head or some other dimensional version that's like almost telling us like, well, you can't possibly feel better than this. It's almost like you shouldn't allow yourself to feel better than this. People are out there suffering, and that's not the case. It's we're way showers, family. We're way showers, and it's like waves can move the boat, but a big boat makes waves. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into the cards now. I like that. Waves can move a boat, but big boats make waves. So yeah, I'm not saying any of this to upset anybody. I'm letting you know of my process, because through working with my process, I keep finding more power and more self-worth and more integration and more of the ability to help my family ascend and help myself ascend. You know, because it's like, as I look at this field, I know it's like, you know, where's this invisible force that I've been calling for a decade, the blackjack, you know, not to even say black as the color. I just mean this whole connection to the number 21, because 22 is obviously mastery. So to get truly out of the field, to get out of this field of distortion, it's almost like we're just going to be completely naked and completely born anew up there, because it's like my angelic that I worked with for a decade is just gone. Like my Elvin, like I asked my Elvin, where's my angelic? And he's like, you know, I can hear, but it's a lot of charades for me. It's just easier and faster. And he goes, like basically saying like, when I came up to 9 and sat there long enough, she kind of was just across the field. And it's like, that's why I'm getting these tests and these challenges. And it's like, I mean, you can ask people, I'm sure plenty of people have seen it, that are even here. It's like, it's almost every day there's somebody getting triggered in spirit, i.e. myself. I'm testing myself to see if I'll be loving while somebody's swearing at me, while somebody's yelling at me. I mean, it was even just not today, but 2 days ago at the gym, Brother Michael was there, and some guy's like yelling at me, swearing, never even seen him before. And I was just like, is he talking to me? He's like, you got the effing grab. He's like swearing at me. And I'm just like, I stopped. I'm like, excuse me? And he says it again. And I was like, hey, do not talk to me like that. Like, and that's the thing. Like, as you tell, and this is what I've been telling you guys for weeks, because this is happening more and more to the point where it's like, you know, if I had some like Big Brother situation, I had cameras following me around, you guys would be like, this is undeniable. Like, you know, like these people that are pushing my boundaries, and then I'm saying to them, I have boundaries. You'll talk to me with respect. I'll talk to you with respect. And that's what I did. I walked up to him and I said, like when I was, so I just like, I grabbed the lotion. That's what he's calling the cream. And I bring the lotion back like after like 2 seconds. And I was just like, I was like, this is a high vibe gym. I was like, this is a friendly environment. We're not going to swear at each other in here. And I said, remember, you're the new guy here. And he just froze. Like, he literally just like was stuck there. And I was just like, good, stay stuck there. Stay stuck there. Don't start don't escalate this. Don't escalate this as I'm staying in love. And it's, yeah, Becca says dom them. Yeah, no, there's a way you can dominate with love, and it's not even domination. It's like, you just, here's the thing, and this is what I've been saying, and this is what I'm going to just keep saying until I get to a new place where I don't need to say this anymore. If you expect, which I expect this, if you expect the universe and your family and your friends and your reality to hold you accountable when you're not acting how you want to act, then you have the God-given right to hold your reality accountable. If you say, I want to be held accountable, like I'm like, if my friends, my family, or somebody thinks something I'm doing is out of balance, tell me. If somebody thinks I need to go look in the mirror and see what version of me is in the body, tell me. It's like, and it's like people go, oh, I'm scared. I can't say this. I can't say that. So it's just like, and that was in that conversation with Angela as well. She was like, so if I think you're not you, what do I do if I think you're not you? And I was like, at any given point, just ask me, and you can share this with your partners and your friends and your loved one as well. I said, at any given point, like, I'm not going to get triggered if you tell me, hey, just take a minute and go look in the mirror. Go hop in the bathroom or go hop in your walk-in mirror and just be like, look at your face, look at your facial structure, look at your eyes. Who's there right now? Like, ask yourself the question. So, yeah, I hope that all helps. I'm going to shuffle and get this going. Thank you all for being here with me, and please gently caress the like button. Alexa, resume Spotify. Oh God, not anything in that song. Yeah, it does. It shows them how they can speak their truth too. Absolutely. It also shows them that we can, because so many, it was like, open your throat. And like, people were in a certain place where there was something with the sacral chakra or something with the throat where they didn't want to speak, or they were working on speaking or doing that stuff. And it's like, we have to feel like we can talk to our friends, our family, our loved ones, or even strangers in the field. Strangers in the field. Love is all I got. Weekly quantum reading from Sunday to Saturday. Preach. Hero preach. Oh, Popper. My darling, I can give you what you want if what you want is love. Carrie Lynn for the win! Where is she? There she is. Baby, I can give you what you need if all that you need is my love. Ooh. Snooze. Oh, my own. Okay. Really? Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. Yes. Imagine I just ended the broadcast right there. Okay. The journey, soul retrieval, true balance in the physical. So this is us on the journey. This is some card representing soul retrieval that has not happened, or that some of us won't be willing to do middle of the week. Does anybody out there find it interesting where when I speak in the Galactic update, the cards seem to just kind of go hand in hand? This was my question, was like, let's just show the example. All right, Shiva's meditating. Shiva's chilling. Shiva's half Krishna, okay? These are both one and the same. So Shiva's meditating, and all of a sudden, whatever it is, this trident, whether it's connected to Poseidon or this god or that god or this Egyptian one, this Hindu one, this Egyptian one, we grab the trident. And like this is not a skill set or a thing I use, but I know that many out there do, and many have a connection to this archetypal frequency. We grab this trident. What happens in Shiva's meditation process? So it's almost just like, I was asking this for the past few days, like, is soul retrieval necessary on the archetypes, or soul retrieval necessary on the gods? This looks like a big old yes to me. This card is like, the bigger the hat, the bigger the problem. It's like sadness. And then this is showing like difficulty deciding whether to go left or go right. And then this card at the end is showing it's hard work. And it's like, yeah, it is hard work, but is it hard work when we all do it? Is it hard work when we co-create it? Is it hard work when everybody out there knows that it's going to get done and we put the proper team together to get this done and to do this? I'll never forget 2019 when, I was working with Stephanie's work, the keys, and the angelic keys she does, which was so epic. I still haven't finished it. I still have like 28 or 30 more to go. But if you guys feel any pull of that whatsoever, I would go. That's one of the most epic things I've found that she does. And I'm like, while I was doing the work, like Spirit stops me and they're like, ask the archangel if they need something. Ask the archangel if they need healing. And it was like, it's kind of like this equivalent of like, hey Buddha, and like Buddha's like, he's like, yeah. And you're like, do you need anything? And he's like, well, this is new. And like, that is literally what I got over and over again. Like every time I called in one of these angelics, they were like, yeah. And I was like, just, you need some healing. You got a missing piece. Is there something I could do? Everybody's always calling on you. Is there anything I can do with my like abundance of knowledge and energy and healing skill sets? Is there anything I could do for you? And they were like, every time they were like, you'd think word would travel around. They were like, what? It was like they were tuning in like, what is this? Like, what is this? So to have the Tower card, to say the Phoenix rises from the ashes, to see soul retrieval, but basically the whole, like the balance is here in the physical is what this is saying. Like we're on the journey. We're on the journey for this healing and balance. We see the scales, and then we see the masculine and the feminine marriage of self. This is not obviously a marriage card. And there's the big honcho at the bottom of the deck again. There's the feminine masculine. There's the immovable object of love, the unstoppable force of love, because the water, the feminine, the reasoning, the intuition, all bonded with the masculine, the fire, and the positive and negatives working together right here. Positives and negatives working together right here. Not that one is positive and one is negative, but this is basically all leading to another tower. It was like, first it was like this whole inner child dragon thing, like all this like stuff that was coming up that was gnarly with the tower. Here's the tower again. And here's the card saying it's hard work, but I don't think it's hard work. I think it's hard work when I tuned in on it and I was like thinking about doing it by myself. But yeah, we get some work to do, family. That's all I know. And I can't wait to see the overlay of these cards on Patreon. So, yeah, I'm going to go get ready for Patreon. I got about 22 minutes. This was definitely longer than expected today. There is your cards. It's a very awesome week for Shift. please, I heard people talking about headaches and this thing, that thing. Just sit with when you're feeling something. If you're feeling off, it's an ascension symptom. And just Alexander has been a very happy-go-lucky guy for the majority of life. Up until these ascension symptoms started getting so intense that I had to meditate more, steam more, go up on airport vortex more. I've been really, really focusing on, as I've been telling you guys, going into the root, going down my feet, like really working with Gaia, really working with this spaceship that's under all of our feet right now. And basically just working with the root chakra, toning, whatever has to happen. Here's what I know. When I was in like a crazy chaotic spot and I went into the heart and I went into the third eye of the crown or higher, I would come back to my body sometimes and feel not the same, but there would still be some residual energy or some weird energy or some anxiety. When I work with the root, it's just gone. It's gone. It's gone. When I come back to my body, when I come back to, just conscious thought, it feels different to me. I don't know how it is for you guys. I'm letting you know what works for me. What else can I do as our journey, the vision and the path and everything? It's like we live and we're like, we do this, we do this, we do this. And then we find out I don't want to do that anymore. Or that's actually blocking me. And then we do this and we do this and we do this. So all I can do is let you guys know what's working for me. And it's like, it's almost comical to me because, there's like this whole expression of like, he's got his head up his arse. It's like, maybe that was a saying for a reason, because it seems like the more I'm consciously just, banging that frequency, like that 432 root chakra, more roots than anything you've ever seen. So much bhakti. I don't know what to tell you. I freaking love you guys. CrystalCurrent.com if you're looking for epic energy tools. GalacticTarot.com if you're looking for some card drops, the things. I love you guys. I will see you very, very, very soon. Patrons, get ready. I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Love you all so freaking much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.